Hi guys, my name is Stephanie. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back to my channel, and if you're new here, you're most welcome. Please consider subscribing to join this family. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you guys how to make a pencil skirt with ruffles at the downside, and also like this video if you find it helpful. So this is the African print fabric I'm making use of in this project for the skirt part, and then I have this satin that I'll be using for the ruffles and also other materials that I'll be using for the project. So please keep watching. So guys, I've actually gone ahead to fold the fabric into two. As you can see, the fabric actually has a pattern, so the head of the braids are facing upward. So I'll go ahead and draw a straight line from the upper side with my ruler, which is actually going to serve as my starting point. From this starting point, which is also the waistline, I'm marking to my hip point, which is 8 inches, and then I'm just drawing the straight line all the way to this other side. And from the waistline, I'll be taking the length of the skirt. I'll place my tape from the upper side and take it all the way down, and the length I'm working with is 22 inches, and because of sewing allowance for the downside and the upper side, I'm adding 1 inch and then half an inch for fold at the downside as well. And I have the length of 23.5, so I'm just connecting with a ruler. And I'll go ahead and divide my round waist measurement by 4, which is about 7.75. I will mark it over there and then add extra 1 inch for that, and then another 1 inch for sewing allowance. And for the hip measurement, I'll also divide it by 4, which is about 8.75. I'll mark it over there and then add 1 inch for sewing allowance as well. And for the hem of the skirt, I'll actually be deducting 1.5 inches from my hip measurement, which is about 7.25. I'll mark it there and then add 1 inch for sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and connect all the points together, starting from my waistline to the hip and then to the hem of the dress. And the next thing I'm actually going to do is to be cutting out everything now, following the measurement that I just marked. And this piece is actually the front piece, so I'll be using it as a template to cut the back piece when I'm actually done cutting. So I've actually folded the front piece and placed it on a piece that is also unfold. So the only difference here is the 1.5 inch for zip allowance. Every other thing is actually going to be the same. So I'll just go ahead and cut out everything now, from the upper side to the side and also the downside of this skirt. And I also divided back piece into 2 pieces from the side that have the zip allowance. And I'll make a notch from there to know where the zip allowance stops. So I've gone ahead to cut lining on all the pieces with 1 inch shorting from the downside. And I'll place the lining on the right side of the fabric, drag it down and then sew it down. So after sewing, this is what I have. So I'll just drag it up to complete for the upper side, and then I'll take it to my machine and sew from the side. And then I'll repeat the same process with this other side as well. So guys, I'm actually done doing that. As you can see, I'm done sewing the sides. I actually drag it up and then sew from the sides and left a space to be able to turn it inside out. And I did the same thing to the 2 back pieces as well. So I'll turn it inside out and iron it. So guys, I'm done ironing, as you can see. So the next thing is to be marking my darts. I'm dividing my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 7 inches. And then divided by 2 is 3.5 inches. So I'm placing it on the front piece, not the back piece. I'm actually leaving the zip allowance out. So from the waistline, I'm going down by 5 inches, which is going to be the point where the dart's actually going to stop. And I'll just hold all the pieces and make a knot to know the point where the dart is actually going to start from all the pieces. And I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew that on all the pieces. So guys, I'm actually done doing that. I'm done sewing that on all the pieces, as you can see, the front piece and the 2 back pieces as well. And for the 2 back pieces, I'm going up by 5 inches, which is actually going to be for the slit, and then I'm leaving 1.5 inches for zip allowance. So from the upper side, I'm actually placing my zip and then leaving about 1.5 inches, which is actually going to be completed with a band, and then I'll mark where the zip is actually going to stop. And from where the zip is actually going to stop, I'm marking 1.5 inches, which is for the zip allowance. I'll mark it and then stop from where the slit is actually going to stop. So I will take it to my sewing machine and then sew from there. So guys, I'm actually done doing that, as you can see. So guys, with the right side of the 2 pieces facing each other, I've gone ahead to mark my measurement, dividing all the measurement by 2, my waist by 2, my hip by 2, and then the hem by 2. So I'll just take it to my sewing machine and sew it. So I'm done doing that. As you can see, I went ahead to stitch down the 2 sides. So for the band of this skirt, the wideness is actually 1.5 inches. Half an inch is already folded in, and then half an inch is going to be for sewing, and it's long enough to go around the waist. So to be able to fix the band on the skirt, the right side of the band is facing the wrong side of the skirt, so I'll place it like that and then sew about half an inch round. So guys, I'm actually done sewing, as you can see. So the next thing is to be turning it over to the right side, and half an inch is already folded inward, so I'll neatly place it and then take it to my sewing machine and sew it. So guys, I'm actually done fixing the waistband, as you can see. So the next thing is to be fixing the zip on it. I will just fix it as an invisible zip, and I'm also done fixing the zip on the skirt as well. So guys, for the piece that I'm using for the ruffle, the length that I have here is about 58 inches. So I'm using a piece of fabric that is about 58 inches in length and then 7.5 inches in width, half inches for sewing. So I'll just take it to my sewing machine and sew about half an inch. So guys, I'm actually done sewing, and I also turn it inside out and also iron it and place the stitch part in the middle of the fabric. And I'll be making a loose stitch for the ruffles slightly below the stitch part. So guys, I've also gone ahead to make the ruffle, as you can see. So I'll just go ahead and adjust it to be the length that will actually fit on the skirt. And I'll go ahead and place the ruffle on the skirt. It's slightly going to be down, and then I'll take it all the way to the back. So for the back piece, the ruffle is actually going to be longer than the skirt a bit because I'm folding it into two. So I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it around. So guys, I'm actually done doing that. As you can see, I'm just arranging it. So I'll be working on the back side now. I'll actually be folding it in for the first time, just the satin, and then I'll fold it for the second time. I'll fold it with the skirt itself, and then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew it, and then I'll do the same thing to this other side as well. I'm actually done doing that. As you can see, I'm done sewing for the both sides. So the next thing is that I'm going to neatly iron everything, and then the skirt will actually be ready. So I'm also done ironing the skirt, and it's actually ready. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are still here, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join this family, and also like this video as well. This is actually how it looks like on me. Thank you, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.